The Galactic Council chamber fell silent when Ambassador Sarah Mitchell stood. Not to speak, to leave. Ambassador Mitchell, Council Director Vexith, called out, "The vote isn't complete. The Refugee Protection Act failed," Sarah interrupted, not turning around. "For the fifth time, I know how this ends. We're still deliberating. You're still making excuses." Sarah's voice was flat, tired. 5 billion Terrene refugees fleeing the scourge, requesting sanctuary, basic aid. And for 8 months, this council has debated, formed committees, requested impact studies. She finally turned, and Vexith saw something in her eyes that made his carapace itch. Disappointment. While you debated, 3 million Terrene died. Starvation, disease, exposure. Sarah gathered her data pad. Humanity formally withdraws from the Galactic Council, effective immediately. The chamber erupted. "You can't just leave. Ambassador Telvaras tendrils florid. You have obligations, trade agreements, defense pacts." "We had faith," Sarah corrected, "in cooperation, in galactic unity, in the idea that advanced civilizations would help those in need." She looked at each delegate. "We were wrong. This is about the Terrene?" Vexith asked. "One humanitarian crisis, and you abandon." "It's not one crisis." Sarah pulled up the holographic display. "The Terrene, the Velen colony collapse, the Kresh plague, the Draxus war orphans. 17 humanitarian disasters in the last decade. This council's response rate? 0. These situations are complex." "No, they're not." Sarah's composure cracked. "People are dying. Children are starving. That's not complex. That's a choice you're making every day you delay. Humanity cannot solve the galaxy's problems alone," Telvar argued. "Watch us." The transmission ended. 48 hours later, not military vessels, colony ships, medical frigates, cargo haulers loaded with supplies. "This is Captain Rodriguez of the UHNS Mercy. We're here to help. All Terrene refugees who wish to relocate to human space are welcome. No applications. No waiting periods. Get on the ships." Within a week, 5 billion Terrene were en route to human worlds. The council watched in disbelief. "They're taking all of them?" Vexith whispered. 5 billion refugees? The economic impact alone. "They don't care," his aide reported. "They're setting up settlements on 18 colony worlds. Full citizenship offered immediately. Impossible. The cultural integration, the resource allocation. Sir, they're not just taking the Terrene. They've sent ships to every active humanitarian crisis in the database. They're evacuating everyone." 3 months later, the economic reports came in. Human space, burdened with tens of billions of refugees, should have collapsed. Instead, their economy grew. "How?" Vexith demanded, staring at the data. His chief analyst pulled up the breakdown. "The refugees aren't just being housed. They're being employed, integrated. The Terrene have advanced agricultural techniques. Human worlds are using them. The Velen are master engineers. Human shipyards doubled output. The Draxus orphans are being educated, and they're not treating them as burdens," Vexith realized. "They're treating them as people. More than that, sir. They're treating them as family." The cultural reports confirmed it. Humans weren't segregating refugees. They were absorbing them, teaching them, learning from them, building together. And the refugees loved them for it. The crisis came 6 months after humanity's withdrawal. The Kresh swarm, emboldened by galactic division, invaded council space. "Emergency transmission to Earth," Vexith ordered. "Request military assistance under the Defense Accord." Sarah's face appeared on screen. Behind her, a Terrene child was teaching a human class about engineering. A Velen family was sharing a meal with their human neighbors. "Ambassador, we need." "The Defense Accord?" Sarah smiled coldly. "We withdrew from the council. No obligations. Remember? Billions will die." "Like they died in the camps while you debated?" Sarah's expression didn't change. "We're busy, Director, helping people who actually needed us. People you abandoned." "We made mistakes," Vexith admitted, his voice breaking. "We should have acted, should have helped. But please." "No." The word hung in the air like a death sentence. However, Sarah continued, our new citizens, the Terrene, the Velen, the Draxus, all 17 billion of them. They remember who left them to die, and who saved them. She leaned forward. They voted, unanimously. They want to help the galaxy that abandoned them, because they're better people than you are. So we'll fight your war. Not for you, for them. The human fleet mobilized, 50 billion strong now, augmented by refugee populations who'd found home among humans. They saved the council. And after, when Vexith tried to thank her, Sarah's response was simple. We didn't do it for you. We did it because that's what family does. Something you might learn, if you're lucky. Humanity never rejoined the council. They didn't need to. They'd built something better. A galaxy where helping wasn't debated. It was just done.